guys just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, yeah. No, the toys look great, but a little more gloss on that paint there, Gum, okay? All right. Hello there, Bear. Hey, I brought you a little Christmas flower. How do you like that, huh? That's kind of pretty. I thought it was just the right size for you. Yes. Well, it's pretty busy out there in the toy factory, but I did promise you chapter 5. So here I am, and I'm going to do that before I've got the Troll King's party is tonight. So I had to get all dressed up again for that. Now I got to figure out where I put my book. Oh, I sat on my book. Oh, for goodness sake. There it is. All right. So here we go. Chapter 5, The Noble Elf. All right. Here we go. So, let's see. Acorn nearly dropped his torch. A troll? He'd been talking to a troll. He'd spent 2 matches trying to light his charcoal pencil. His best pencil at that. For a troll. Trolls were the worst. The world was full of nasty, slimy, and scary things that crawled around in dark places like under bridges. But trolls had to be the worst. Hey you! What are you crying about? Acorn called down. He wasn't even sure why he'd said anything. It was a troll, after all. He should just walk away. But the troll's cries were starting to really get to that big heart of Acorn's. Wah! I ain't never gonna have a friend, the troll cried. He then buried his face in his arms and continued bawling. Now just stop that, Acorn shouted. You sound like a big baby. The crying continued louder than ever. Acorn's heart was beginning to soften a bit. The poor creature looked so pathetic down by the frozen river, crying in the dark. If you've ever cried in the dark, you know how lonely the feeling is. Acorn had spent many nights himself crying in the dark, wishing for a friend. He looked down again at the very small troll lying on the ground down below. Hey you, stop crying for a minute. I want to ask you something. Acorn squatted down next to the edge of the hole. The troll quieted down a bit. His cries were mere hiccups. He sat up and looked up at Acorn. What? Why are you so small? I thought trolls were a lot bigger. The troll was crying louder than ever now. Oh, for crying out loud, Acorn thought to himself. Just a few minutes ago, this guy had been acting like a big meanie, and now he was being a super crybaby. Hey, would you please stop crying? For goodness sake, you sound like an overflowing toilet. I do? The troll asked, sitting up even higher. No one ever said such a nice thing to me before. The troll hiccuped. I thought you didn't like me. Acorn was kind of surprised at this sudden change in the troll. Sure I do. You seem like a decent enough fella. Goodness, what was he doing talking to a troll? Here it was, Christmas Eve. Santa was who knows where. He didn't know how to get back to the North Pole. And his feet were starting to really get cold. So what are you doing down there? I live here. Trolls live under bridges. For a rat, you sure ain't too smart, the troll exclaimed. I'm not a rat, I'm an elf, I'll have you know, Acorn said it back a bit angrily. Well, you sure sound like a rat from here. I can't see you, 'cause you're holding that torch in front of your face. The troll was squinting up into the light of the torch. Maybe you could move it to the side, so I can see ya. Sorry, I didn't realize, Acorn said as he moved the torch aside. Oh, I sees it now, you is an elf, said the troll. What you doing this far from the North Pole? It's a bit of a long story, said Acorn, not wanting to admit he'd stowed away in Santa's sleigh and then been dumped under a Christmas tree. And I'm starting to get cold feet standing up here in the snow. If I pull you out of there, will you promise not to eat me? Trolls don't eat elves, that's just a nasty rumour, he said as he stood up. Acorn was eyeing him carefully. He looked like he might not be much taller than he was. Acorn always had the idea that trolls were a lot bigger. He didn't want to ask the troll about it after his last outburst when he'd mentioned the troll's size. If I toss my rope down, do you think you could climb up? Oh my goodness, this reading is thirsty business.
Probably won't know unless we try. Give me a sec to get my feet. What's happened to my voice? Did somebody put pixie dust in my cocoa? Oh, for goodness sake, when I catch up with you, you're gonna be on the naughty list for 100 years. Come back here, I see you. You can't run away. Get over here. Don't try hiding under there. Come back here. Oh, you are on the naughty list. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to get some water. Oh my goodness. Bear, can you believe that? Somebody put pixie dust in Santa's cocoa. Maybe if I gargle I can get my voice back and we can keep on reading the story.
Oh, that sounds better. That sounds more like me. Oh, for goodness sake. What a nasty trick for somebody to play on Santa. Oh, they're gonna be on the naughty list for sure. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. Okay. Probably won't know unless we try. Give me a sec to get my things. The troll scampered off into the darkness, and Acorn could hear the sound of things clanging around in the bushes at the bottom of the riverbank. Acorn took this time to gather the thread in a coil on his shoulder, much like a mountain climber would coil a rope. Soon the troll came back into the light of the torch, and Acorn was surprised at the pile of junk and trash the troll had gathered up. "What's all that?" he asked when he saw the heap. "You planning to take all that with you?" "It's me treasure, and I ain't sharing it." "I'm not asking you to," Acorn replied. Will you be able to carry all that up here?" "Course, I've been carrying this stuff around me all life," he said proudly. "Ain't you got no treasure of your own to carry around?" No. I keep mine at home," he said as he tossed the end of the thread down to the troll. He then tied off the other end to the base of a bush and called out, "Okay, climb on up." Acorn saw the line draw tight as the troll started to climb. It seemed to take quite a while to climb up. While he was waiting for the troll to climb up, he started wondering if the troll had been telling the truth about not eating elves. He decided to step back from the edge a bit with his torch held out in front for protection. Soon he saw a grimy hand with long, broken nails reach over the edge, followed by an even dirtier arm. Soon a head popped up, and Acorn got a good close look at the troll. Ugly and stupid looking were the first words that came to mind, but Acorn decided that he shouldn't be one to judge. He was a troll after all. "Jiminy, would you give a fella a hand? I can't finish the last of this climb on my own." "My name's not Jiminy, and you don't have to get snarky." "Get what? I didn't call you Jiminy," replied the troll. "And what didn't I get?" "Yes, you did. Just now. You called me Jiminy, and you are being snarky," Acorn said, getting a bit irritated. My name is Acorn, not Jimmy. No one, replied the troll as he stepped back from the elf, having just had his handshake refused. And how'd you know my name? I don't know your name, you old grump. Acorn was starting to get really frustrated. That's me uncle, said the troll. Who's your uncle? Acorn yelled back. Old grump, replied the troll. Who are you calling an old grump? Acorn was about to just walk off. Now on, you dummy! Old grump is me uncle. Acorn suddenly realized that he misunderstood the troll. You have an uncle named Old Grump? Course I do, the troll replied as he once again held out his hand. Trolls really do have good manners when it's called for. Snarky, he said proudly while showing lots of crooked teeth. Why do you keep calling me Snarky? I just pulled you out of a ditch. I didn't call you Snarky. Snarky's my name, he said while puffing out his chest. Oh, sorry. I thought you were calling me names. Acorn, he said while taking the troll's hand and shaking it. The troll quickly pulled his hand away. You calling me a nut? Acorn almost yelled back, but then he realized he just had another misunderstanding. No, my name is Acorn. Oh, sorry, you should be more clear, the troll said while shaking his hand back while junk clattered on his back. My goodness, I'm having trouble here. I think I need to clean my glasses. There we go. So what's a tiny elf like you doing so far from the North Pole? You didn't run off from somebody's shelf, did you? Goodness, no, I'm not that kind of elf. Acorn did not like it when people made comments about putting him on a shelf. He made toys. I'm a toy-making elf. I always thought those kind was bigger, Snarky said. Why are you so small? I could ask the same about you, Acorn replied. I always thought trolls were huge. Most are. I just need more time to grow. Oh, how old are you? 50, the troll said kind of sheepishly. Everyone knows trolls usually stop growing by the time they are 10. Uh-huh, Acorn said skeptically. Just then the torch started sputtering. Oh no, he cried. What will we do to see? It's all right. I got me treasure, Snarky said as he reached behind himself. He fished around in his pack and pulled out what looked like an old wad of tinfoil. He carefully unfolded it, and inside was a beautiful blue glowing ball. What do you think Snarky's taken out of his pack, Bear? Oh, there could be quite a surprise in store there for him, don't you think? I do too.